Wegovy Steph here, part two or take two. I had to do something with the hardware acceleration in the browser in order for this flickering to stop. All right, so let me start again. First of all, I hope everybody is having a very pleasant Friday so far. And for my friends who are here and on Wegovy versus those who I truly appreciate that are there to witness or excuse me, go along the journey, but you haven't started taking Wegovy yet, I'm sending you like mad love. I'm sending you courage. I'm sending you tenacity. I'm sending all those well wishes to you for success on this journey. It is not easy, and I should just put that out there. It's just not easy. But with those things in place, this determination, this focus, I believe that you can have success. Now, I also want to say, some people have not had the greatest reactions to taking Wegovy. Maybe they've experienced some extreme gastrointestinal disturbances, and I want to turn that light on a little bit, shed a little light on the issue. And they just can't handle it. They've been nauseous, things like that. And so they had to stop taking it and need to find alternative means to get this weight off. Now, let me also encourage you. Is it hard? Yes. Can it be done? Yes, I am living proof of that. Number one, because I had lost 90 pounds without Wegovy prior to all the things that occurred that brought me back up to 274. Well, let me tell you about this breakthrough. I am at 212 today. I got up this morning and I just feel great. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if this is true, but I'm just going to tell you what my thoughts are on this. When I switched to the 2.4, I hit a plateau and I was there for 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. And then I took a dose 2 weeks ago and boom, started, losing weight again. I called my doctor and I had a conversation with them and which I'm going to talk about the depth of the content of that conversation, excuse me. And they were like, "Oh, Stephanie, you're going to lose more weight. You know that, right?" Then it was like, "Well, did you know that this is going to happen?" I was like, "Oh, no," because I thought it wasn't working anymore. And so, boom, voila, I just started losing weight all of a sudden. As a matter of fact, I've lost almost 7 pounds or so, 7, 8 pounds since I reported that I was stuck at 220, right? So let's talk about this conversation that I had with my physician. As most of you know, Wegovy and other weight loss medications have been in high demand and in short availability, short storage. I don't know, short supply. Excuse me. My mouth is dry. And some people began taking it and then it wasn't available to get the next dose because what was happening was they would go to their pharmacist and the pharmacist was giving them 1 month worth of that medication, which I understand because some people don't fare well on it. But in my experience, I was okay. And I mean, tiny little bit of, maybe got a little backed up, but I did the things that were necessary diet-wise, clean me out. I'm good to go, and I haven't had any problems. So pharmacies are reluctant to order large batches. Number one, because it's in short supply and high demand. Number two, what if I order all of this for you and you end up quitting it? Then it's wasted medicine. And so I had gone to CVS. That's the pharmacy I go to. And I told them, I said, "Listen, I don't want to have to keep coming back here and waiting for you to order it. And then I start it and then I don't have it for a month. It defeats the purpose of taking it." And so my pharmacist at the CVS back in Texas ordered it for me. So when I first picked up my first ever prescription, which was in October of last year, they gave me the 2.4 dosage first. That's the one that they had in stock. I was livid because I was like, why would I take this now? If I can't take this for according to the schedule until 6 months from now. And they were like, well, we don't have the other ones. And I was like, okay, well, so I have this prescription and basically I got to keep it in my refrigerator and hope that it doesn't expire. So I did not get the 0.25 dosage, which is the first round. I didn't get that till the first week of January. So I had this 2.4 in October. Boom, fast forward. I don't start taking it until January. Now we're here. So last week, after that injection, I only have 4 pens left. And I was like, let me go to CVS and tell them I need it now. Because if I don't do that, if I wait, then I may have a break and then I won't be able to get it for months from now. And I wouldn't have finished out the year on Wegovy. So I went to CVS and they were like, well, we can't get it in right now. It's on back order, da, 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 da. And then he was like, well, we have 6 other CVSs in the area and you can call around and find out if they have it. Now, first of all, and if somebody from CVS watches this, I just want you to hear this. Why is the patient doing that legwork? Why are they doing that? When you have a computer system that you can reach into and see the inventory. And don't say you can't do that because I watched the kid do that. And instead, what he did, he didn't tell me what. Oh, he told me that one other location had 1 box of the 2.4 left. And I could go to them and get it. But if I place that, if I place that order at that location, I couldn't return to his location. And it was a big whatever. And I actually understand that too, but it's the way that this was explained to me that was kind of convoluted. So I call up to the other CVS and I'm like, this is the situation. I want to place this order or this prescription because XYZ. And they were like, okay, well, you don't have any prescriptions to refill because my doctor wrote the script for a year starting in October of 2022. And so I didn't have anything to get me beyond the last 4 dosage. I didn't have a prescription for that. And I said, well, it seems to me that there would be some kind of common sense and think, well, you can look in your system and see when I picked up the first 0.25 and when I started it and when it would have run out. Okay. Now, let me rewind a little. Back in Texas, that pharmacist at that CVS was smart. She ordered all of the doses up until October. Okay. Because remember, I picked the first one up that I picked was going to be the one that I would have been taken after the 6-month mark. So I was actually okay with it. And actually that first dosage that I got, that back in October, that was the first 2.4 that I used because of the expiration date. And then when I went and picked up the regular prescription, I had some that were good and they didn't expire. So I drive up to this other CVS here. Bring back to what happened yesterday. Okay, hang on. I called the CVS that had the 1 box left. Get on the phone. Listen, CVS, if you ever see this, Amber here at this CVS is smart. She was smart and was on top of understanding how those dosages for Wegovy went. That's all I want to say. So I call her up and I'm like, hey, is it possible for me to get that last box? And she was like, yeah, sure you can. And I was like, cool, I'll be up to get those, right? As soon as I talk to my doctor and he can get that script sent to you. My doctor, Johnny on the spot, script called him. He called the script in. I call up and I say, okay, my doctor put it in. And Amber says to me, Miss Stephanie, I am so sorry, but that was actually ordered for another patient. So I'm going to place an order for you so that you can pick it up. Did the other CVS call you and tell you that it wasn't available for you? Because I did talk to them. I didn't have your phone number pulled up in the system anymore and whole thing, right? And I was like, they didn't call me. So mind you, all of this this phone conversation with Amber happened last week, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, maybe Wednesday. According to Amber, she told them, you need to call her and tell her that this is not available. And she said they told her, okay. And how do I know that that happened? Because 2 days ago, I got a call, or 3 days ago, I got a call from the first CVS, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, that dosage was for another patient." So you waited a few days to call me back and tell me this? Like, that to me is unacceptable. When you have a partner, or not a partner, a sister location saying you need to call your patient and tell them this. That's not okay, we'll get to it. I'm going to call you in a couple of days. Because again, most people who have had trouble getting their Wegovy have ended up breaking that cycle, and they have a month, sometimes 2 months between taking cycles, and it's like non-effective. You know what I mean? I mean, it's effective, but they can end up not having the same results as they were if they had an uninterrupted dosage, right? Or doses. I was livid to the point where I couldn't even call them back. I didn't even want to talk to them about it. I just dealt with Amber. And so yesterday I said, you know what? Let me go up to the CVS, and I'm going to take the order from, not the order, but the approval letter. I'm going to take it up there, and I'm going to tell them, hey, I've been approved. They wrote the script out, da 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 da. And she's like, I take it up there, and she's like, hey, well, the young man who came to help me, the pharmacy tech, he pulled up my information, and he went and talked to Amber, and Amber was like, we got her Wegovy in. There it is. And it is a 3-month supply because of how my doctor wrote that prescription. So I was able to pick up all of the remaining doses for Wegovy that will carry me into the first week of January. Praise the Lord, because it is worrisome when you break, a prescription that you're using, that you're getting these results from. So, moral of this particular portion of my broadcast is work with your pharmacy to see if they can get you your dosages so that you don't have to keep going back to the pharmacy. Like I told them, COVID's on the rise again. I don't want to keep coming to a pharmacy. Sick people come here. I don't feel like getting sick. Things like that. Like you gotta tell them what you want. The doctor already wrote the prescription. Here's what I'd like to pick up today, so I don't have to come back down here. I can just go on and do my thing. Now, do I recommend that for people who are just starting out? Not necessarily. And in hindsight, it may not have been good for me to do that, because some people reported taking even that small dosage made them sick, and they were like, I can't do this. And then you have wasted doses. But the other part of it is me having taken it and being able to, watch my symptoms, mitigate it with my diet, watch what I'm taking in so that I didn't get nauseous. I didn't have like diarrhea or anything like that. I felt confident and comfortable with asking or requesting that they order it and get it in so I can pick it up. All right. So that's one story. So anyway, 212. Can you believe it? I started this journey at 274, and I'm at 212 this morning. And I'm really grateful because, and I don't know if you can see this, like I have some previous shirts, and actually in my thumbnail, I have on my favorite Hollywood shirt, and you can see in my face, in my thumbnail, how it's a little thicker. But the weight for me always comes off at my neck and then my breast, and then it works its way down. Wish it would work the other way, right? Because ain't nothing like trying to get your hips and butt off, right? But I think in conjunction with the exercise, and again, monitoring what I'm eating, I don't know, it kicked into high gear. And I just started losing weight. Like every morning that I was getting up, I'd be down like 2 pounds. But then as the day goes on, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're eating, you're drinking. I may have only lost a pound. So I want to show you guys something. This pair of pants is a pair of Levi's. It is a 38 waist, length is 30. Okay, maybe y'all can see that. These is another pair of Levi's, and look how beautiful they are. Look how the color is, because I take care of my jeans. That's a whole nother episode for another channel. These are 42 by 30s. When I started my weight loss journey, I couldn't pull these up over my knees. Okay. Yesterday, I was able to pull the 42s up to my waist. I can't zip them quite yet because I still got a little weight there. But my goal is to get down to said 180, but I think I'm going to shoot for 170 so that I can get back in my 38s. I love Levi's. They're slim. I just love them. And I've got hundreds of dollars worth of Levi's. They're in a case back there. And I don't feel like buying a new wardrobe. I even have clothes that I bought a month and a half ago, that are very loose, and I'm going to have to take them to a tailor to take them in just a little bit. I'm super happy. I'll tell you another thing. I couldn't even find a belt to wear, and I got my belt. I have some really cool belts, and I'm able to put my belt on now. And as a side note, I am a CCW carrier, and it is very hard to carry when you have a lot of like a weight in your midsection. And so now that I can put a belt on, my holster I can carry properly. Okay. So that was just a little side note. Anyway, let's talk exercise and let's talk food again. As I've always encouraged you, get rid of the sugar, because that sugar will delay your success. When I started cutting out that sugar, I started losing weight. Now I'm going to tell you something that has been happening lately, and it's my treat. It's Rita's Ice, and I know Rita's is not everywhere, but there's one location here in Arizona. I love Rita's Ice, and I like their lemon flavor because it isn't as sweet as the other ones. And so I'll get a large Rita's Ice, and I'll eat that over the course of a couple of days. And that's just my little sweetness, my little sugar, because during the day I'm not getting any other sugar in. I mean, I might be, but it's very, very minute. I have also been using 2 apps to kind of track my progress. One is my Renfo. It is a app for a digital scale that I have, and it does kind of like a body composition thing. Is it accurate? I would say it's not dead on, but it isn't far off, because I've had a body composition done by a bariatric surgeon, and it mirrored what the app is showing me in terms of BMI, visceral fat, things like that. For the first time in about 10 years, my body fat is now at 29.7. My body fat was hitting the 40% mark when I started this journey. So I'm at 29.7, and I'm really happy about that. Now, my visceral fat, what they consider excessive is anything over a 15, and acceptable is everything below 11. I currently am at a 16, which means it is excessive. However, it is way below where it used to be. And my focus right now is doing the things that are going to help, continue to burn this fat off so that I can get the visceral fat down. My subcutaneous fat was high at one point. It is now in a standard range of 24%. And my fat-free body weight is actually 150. And that is why I recalibrated and rethought through what should my goal weight be. So I'm going to say 170. It will be nice if I could get to 150, but I'm going to say 170. That is something that I feel is within reach and very doable. Actually, probably by Thanksgiving, I would say. It could be by the end of October because, again, the weight has started to come off pretty fast. I don't know if you guys are interested in um, using a body composition weight scale, but I would just recommend that if you're not, at least have your doctor have that done so that you know what your body is about and you know what you're shooting for. Like I feel like it's just like business. If you don't know what your goal is, and you don't have a strategy for that, like how are you supposed to get there? You know. So I just would encourage you to do that. Um, the other app that I use is the MyFitnessPal app. I have a year subscription for it. It was $79. I got it when I first started this journey because I think I've mentioned to you all before that I used to be into the bodybuilding and weightlifting and exercise and everything. And, just got away from me and nobody would ever believe it. But your girl used to be buff. Why do I use it? Oh, and I use my Apple Watch because I take my Apple Watch, I go to the gym, it's linked to the app, and I'm able to track my caloric deficit as well as input the foods that I'm eating so I can make sure that I'm not stepping beyond the proteins, the fats, the carbs for that day or for my weight goals, my weight loss goals. So super important to have an understanding of where you stand with that. Now, am I weighing things out on a scale? No, but I am monitoring what I'm eating. Like if I'm going to eat something, I'll throw it in the app to see what that caloric intake is like so that I can make sure that I don't, go over, right? So just two apps again: the Renpho, Renpho, body composition scale, and MyFitnessPal to monitor my food intake, my exercises, and things like that. So why does MyFitnessPal really help? So when I have this Apple Watch on, and actually let me rewind, tell you how I use it. Put my Apple Watch on. I go to the gym and I switched up a couple of things. So I lift and I do cardio. I can see how many steps I've taken. I can see the calories that it is affording me back for my day, right? So let me tell you what I did for my exercise change up. So what I would do is warm up by getting on the treadmill and then I would go lift. But I went back to the method that I used when I was into the bodybuilding and all of that kind of stuff, or physique building, I should say. I went to the gym this past week and I would lift really heavy. So this time I'm doing 3 to 4 sets with 12 to 15 reps. And I've upped the amount of weight. Now, I don't need to get into the specifics about weight because if you want to try this, it's going to be based on what you're capable of doing and lifting and everything. And so I had leg day, I've had upper body day. Sometimes I just go in there and get on the treadmill. But I lift first. So before, again, like I said, I would treadmill, get the muscles all loose and warmed up, and then I go lift. This week, I went in the stretching cage. I lifted heavy, breaking out in a heavy sweat, legs shaking, the whole nine. And when I got done, I would get on the treadmill for 30 minutes at a 3-mile-an-hour speed, lifting up the incline 6 to 7%, depending upon how my knee is feeling, because my knee has been a little sore lately. And just let me, as a side note to that, I had arthroscopic surgery on my knee when I was like 23 or 4. Actually, it's like 23 or 4. It's when they first really started doing arthroscopic surgery versus opening up your whole knee and all that kind of stuff. And it has held up remarkably well over the years. But it is just sometimes you get a little tender, so I just take a little easy with the incline. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, a treadmill at 3 miles an hour with an incline like that is going to burn some weight off of you. It is. Go ask your doctor. I wouldn't lead you wrong. But that has definitely contributed to me losing weight. So I stand back. Yes, this is my room. I don't know if you can see. I still got this going on. Remember the visceral fat, but this is coming down. But here is my waistline, and I am very, very, very pleased with the results. And that's what I've got to tell you. Some of the other things, and this is for the new people, I talk about in some previous videos about certain triggers that are in all of our lives that have contributed to us using food as a crutch. In some cases, you may not have a trigger, you may not have self-control, and you just go, well, I like that, and I'm just going to eat it no matter what the results are. Now you're in a position where it's like, I got to get this weight off. Listen, deal with your triggers, deal with your habits of overeating while you're going through this. Because you can't just take a magic shot, lose this weight, and not deal with the things that caused you to get there in the first place, because at some point you won't be taking Wegovy and those triggers will still be there. So deal with them head on. Can it be painful? Yes. But there is nothing like dealing with your mental health and emotional health and then losing weight. You feel amazing. You feel like a different person. So that is just a little suggestion for you. Other than that, I don't have too much else to report other than it is a good day. I am, again, pleased to report that. Again, like, share, and subscribe. You know, I'm not that person that you see, the super influencer that's like, share, and subscribe, and everything's popping up on the screen, and you're just like, oh my goodness, we get it. You want us to subscribe to your channel? I'm not like that. I just want to tell you that if you like my content, please hit the like button, hit the bell. That way you can get notified from going on live. I will be returning to Tumamok eventually. The weather has somewhat broken. And so I've been doing this in the gym versus going out. But again, follow the journey. Feel free to leave comments. Hop on the chat when I'm on live. Let's mix it up a little bit. Share your comments, your questions, your concerns, your tips, your tricks. Share all of that. Be respectful of not only myself, but the people who comment on any of my videos. And again, let's grow the community. Let's help each other out, because we need each other to just kind of make it through, right? Sometimes you go, well, I don't need people. I don't know you. My family. Well, honey, if you ain't had any success with your family up until this point, maybe you need to look at some other people, right? You know, so come and join us and let's build this community and make it great. So remember what I always say, to love and care for yourself first, and then make sure you are intentional and purposeful on loving and caring for each other. This is Wegovy Steph. I'm out, and I wish you a most beautiful Friday and a great weekend. Peace.